Well, hello and welcome to Fragments of Remains, session 19. Go ahead and check in with our players, and taking my advice from last week, let's go ahead and start with Alencia. Alencia, how was your week?
Uh,
Yep.
That kind of week.
I promise.
What was that?
I said one of these days, I promise.
Oh, okay. Well, just so everyone knows, Alencia's birthday is on Friday, so...
Yes.
Happy early birthday. How old you gonna be?
23.
God dang, man. Young.
Modar, how was your week?
Things are going good. Still up here in the cold. Should be headed back south on by the end of this week. But yeah, no, enjoying some time off right now. It's been nice.
Yeah, you said you were dealing with, what, like a blizzard today, or...
It was like I don't know. It was like I think they got 6 to 10 inches or something like that. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. They started calling schools off yesterday. A couple of the big businesses around here shut off this morning and had nobody go to work. But apparently everyone's afraid of the snow now. After I moved
It
over.
was supposed to be a lot worse, but part of it shifted different directions and spread out, or wasn't as much snowfall because we had some issues like as it came through us in Tennessee that it was heavier than we expected, so we got more than we thought we were going to. So maybe you guys got less.
Maybe, I don't know. The issue is like towards the end of the day though, it did turn to that freezing rain stuff, so that's not fun.
Oh yeah.
Never is.
No, that's gross. But then, Togo, I guess you were dealing with a bit of the same issues today, and...
A bit of a little like winter wonderland on and off between snow and rain. We were just supposed to get rain all week, but I think we've got a couple inches sitting out there, but some rain and it's freezing and causing ice, so that's annoying, but overall, not bad. Did some tree pruning this weekend, which was fun.
That sounds more of like what I would chalk up as a chore.
But you get to like climb around into trees and like hang off things and cut parts of trees off, and
Yeah, I guess using the tools are fun, right?
yeah, and you're like 15 feet in the air, 10 feet in the air, like hanging onto branches and limbs and being like, oh, how the fuck do I get out there? And well, if I wrap around this and put my legs here and put my foot in this one, with one hand, can I go out and push it against a limb to cut that branch off?
Yeah, that sounds stupid. Why don't you just get a ladder and some stuff?
Cherry picker.
Sanashi, I know you are a little feeling under the weather the past couple days, but said you're feeling better today, so that's good. Other than that, do you have a decent week at least?
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's been pretty decent. Feel better today. Got a lot of stuff done in my campaigns that I've been needing to do. Other than that, that's all I've really been able to do, other than watch movies.
So you no longer have your normal sick staying home from work pastime since you're not playing WoW. You can't grind out dailies.
Don't you dare tempt him with such things.
That is true. I mean, but today was Tuesday, so I do remember what Tuesdays were like when I'd call in sick every now and then. Be like, shit, I forgot it was maintenance morning.
Yep.
So I always try to make it a point never to call in sick on a Tuesday.
That's the worst.
Waking up those days and it being like down for maintenance always felt bad. But
Yeah, man, it sucked.
with that, I'll go ahead and open it up to the floor for each of you for the recap. So, whoever would like to take the lead, please feel free.
So I guess last time we went back into the cave and drew pictures of the boat. Where's that? Yeah, last time we went and
That was
drew
2 ago.
pictures of the boat.
That was
Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
We've been in the city for an entire session.
Okay.
last week we started off in the office to
That's right.
shoot, what the hell, the Wheat Civic Guild leader,
Yeah. What's
talking
her
with
name?
her. Yeah.
I don't have it written down anywhere.
Zanashi Alencia, do you know?
I didn't do a lot last session.
You know the name. I'm trying to give me a second. I know I've got it written down here somewhere.
But we talked to her for a while. She seemed exhausted, yet had lots of trophies and stuff, and she was kind of hinting that we should join up and fight the cause and service equals citizenship and all that jazz for the war with the Yanti. And they basically already knew about the cave and everything in there, and when we told them about it, they were like, "Oh, yep, that makes sense."
Yeah, I do remember. I don't want to have anything to do with her damn war because she don't want to do what Zanashi wants. So she can
Samara.
basically,
That was her name.
I have no care for her.
That's it. Yeah, I didn't like her either.
We were in a tavern with a bunch of leprechauns, as Zanashi put it, with
Oh yeah, with all
a
the
Mario pipe tube system.
I forgot about leprechauns. Thank you.
Pew, pew, pew.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that.
It's a goal. And we kind of spent a lot of time there, right? And then we were trying to get the whole show up ready for Togo so that he could
I was just gonna
perform.
play in the
Yeah.
And then I went and talked to my friends from my caravan days, and I learned a little bit of information about what they heard about a flying land, as it was called, from the tribes, from the orc tribes down by Risk.
Risk is a
Down
board
by
game.
Yes, which I
Risque.
greatly enjoy. But down by Raisk, that the great flying land that broke apart in the sky, and they watched it fall across from Mito to Raisk, and we still have the Celestial Veil, I think, is where we're trying to get to. But I think we were selling items and debating on whether or not we should try and rest up here for a couple days before continuing on.
And then I wrote, I don't know the context, but I wrote news of sending people to Red Hawk. Something about that.
In Red Hawk, there was a bunch of people who were found crucified? A bunch of bodies, or were they buried? I think they were found crucified.
Well,
And they
now that
had
you
sent
mention
people out to investigate a lot of dead people out there.
Yes, and then Modar had a little bit of a dream or something where he was flying amongst the clouds, saw his had the note that his master had handed to him, had some burning sensations when he tried when he stayed in that state for a little while when he tried touching the note, and when he came to, there was a note with 3 burnt holes in his pocket, and the other note was gone. And I had asked Samara about getting the pins removed as a member of the Snowhair Guild, and she was supposed to be contacting the Snowhair Guild master to see if they could work something out. She also wants the Snowhair Guild to join them with the war effort in Blucksmith. No, Lales. Sorry,
Lales.
Lales. And Blucksmith has joined them, I believe. Was that what it was?
I think
Luxmouth
so.
had made mention that they were going to join the efforts.
That's okay, yes.
Oh. in the room that Modar had, someone had put into the table, "I hate gnomes."
Yes.
And Mordar apparently woke up with a loud sound.
Apparently, he was making a bit of ruckus in his room.
Yeah.
And I did manage to find a book that may have some factual bearings or some old myths about the flying ships and civilization. The
Great. See you all
Tempest,
next session.
yeah, the Tempest Isles, if I remember correctly. It's the book I found.
I think that's about what I remember from last week.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
would
let's
say
take a
even
break.
an extra few things that you touched on that I actually didn't have down. So kudos and bonus points.
and or no, I guess we were in the city. Never mind. That happened 2 weeks ago.
So as we jump back into our game tonight, we were nearing just 7:30 in the morning after Modar had a transaction to buy the Tempest's Isle book that he had found through the town. With the previous day selling gems and taking care of some miscellaneous tasks through the day, each of you find yourselves on April 18th in the morning, Modar out and about the city of Mito, shopping, while the others still back at the Sleeping Lamp Tavern. So, Modar, since we ended with you last time, and after you had just gone through the book and got a few ideas of what the contents are, we will go ahead and start with you.
All right. Well, now that I have that, nothing else going on. There's no. I will make my way back towards the guild hall, and I want to get there and just take in what's going on and see how things are shaping up in that area.
All right, so you make your way from the market area towards the centralized building, the large one that you know of to be the Wheat Civet Guild Hall. The rest of you, since you are all three back at the Sleeping Lamp Tavern, what would you like to start doing for your morning?
I might. Did we ponder around yesterday or last time looking for any kind of potions, or did we get the idea that all magics outside of the guild were kind of frowned upon?
Well, from the go-abouts when each of you were going on the shopping and Modar asking the questions, and the same thing with you last time as well. Each of you did find that anything related to magic, potions, books, scrolls, and things of that manner are all dealt with just the guild.
Okay, I might hang around the tavern a little bit and kind of see the crowd, see what all the group of gnomes that performs does, and kind of just enjoy having someone else perform for me for once.
I'm just gonna sit and enjoy my breakfast.
Alencia's just gonna go general shopping.
You need company, Alencia.
Oh no, it's just for me, personal things.
Thought I smelled something. Okay.
All right, so Alencia, if you're going out for some miscellaneous things, you can let me know what they are, and we can go from there, and you know, figure it out. Togo and Zanashi, since both of you are staying in the tavern, enjoying just the little bits of performances that take part every hour, During the day and in the morning time, they're not as elaborate, and there's not as many gnomes that perform. Nearly about half from what you remember the night before. But as you look around Togo, you'll notice that the morning crowd mainly consists of like crew members and sailors.
Okay. Okay.
Modar, since you're going back to the Wheat Civet Guild Hall, as you make your way up, you can see that same piece of parchment that's resting on the left side of the double door. And from what you remember, just to be the recruitment parchment for the Warden Lails. Hey, thank you for the follow, Mijander.
Has it changed or is it still the same?
It's still the same.
All right, yeah, I'll go inside and see if I can find a table. And is it's set up like kind of like an inn or like a pub or whatever inside, correct? Food, drinks, things like that.
Yes, on the first floor, there's like a tavern style setup, a room, well, the doors that you had gone through that led to Samira's office, stairs that lead upstairs, up to the second floor, and the other bits, like you can see like a small like barracks, like a small like sleeping area style, and there's also like the serving of food, drinks, and things of that manner as well.
All right, I'm going to find someplace, see if I can find a seat where I can, where I'm out of the way, but I can still see most of what's going on. People coming in, people leaving, and sit down, pull out my new book, order some food, and start flipping through my book, and kind of getting a feel for what's going on in the room too. Like, I'm not necessarily like watching everybody that's coming and going, but I kind of want to see if it feels like a normal, what I would consider to be a normal guild hall, or more activity, anything out of the ordinary that would be going on.
Give me an insight check for that. Nice roll. So you can see that it is not as packed as it was the previous day. There seems to be about 25% less of the capacity that it was the previous day. You do recognize Togo's friends, but you will notice that everyone here seems to be moving with a purpose. A bit of a pep in their step, if you will.
With the war effort, that's to be expected. All right, fair enough. And start, yeah, kind of going through the book and starting to read it and get a feel for it.
Okay, so depending on how long you just kind of want to lurk about and read your book, can you just give me an intelligence check and then let me know how long, and then I'll let you know what you find out.
I double clicked out of habit. That was my bad.
It's okay. You rolled a 1 and a 2, so neither roll was that great.
I don't know, like an hour or two. Like I said, I'm not hiding what I'm reading or anything like that. I'm just kind of reading and feeling the room out. Wait
Yeah,
for my
just
food to
looking
come
busy
out.
while you're
Yep.
kind of hanging. Understood. So, while you are doing that, Alencia, while you're out shopping, is there something in particular that you were looking for, or is it just more for personal necessities, I guess?
Sorry, are we back to me now?
Yeah, I was just checking in with like your shopping. If there was like a more specific item that you wanted, or any like questions that you had for any of the shopkeepers.
Yeah, Alencia would walk into what she thinks is a fashion store and goes, and she asks for advice and goes, excuse me.
So as you are kind of walking by, you will see that there is a nice little store set up, windows showing some mannequins dressed in very nice clothing, jewelry decorated on them. And as you make your way inside, push open the door, a little bell will ring as you enter. Ding, 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 ding. And as you say hello, you look up and you will notice that there is what appears to be a blue-skinned elf with slick, what looks to be almost like a slick green pulled back, like a toupee. It doesn't even look real, that sits upon his head. Pointy ears and green eyes. Is wearing a nice pendant around his neck and finely made clothing.
Valencia about to be in love.
Oh, well. Hello, my dear. What is it that I can help you with this lovely day?
Just to clarify, is he a drow?
From you being a drow, when you kind of like take a look at him, you will notice that he is not a drow. Maybe like a second kind of cousin to that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, I don't know what I'm looking for exactly. My whole life I was under some strict dress code, and I never really felt the need to put on anything pretty or wear makeup as I heard some women do. But I was curious if there was something that could make me look a little bit more flattering with what I have on right now.
Places hand upon his chin, and as he kind of rubs it with his index finger and his thumb. Well, what is it that you might be going for? Explain the situation to me. Of whom are you trying to impress? Is it a dear friend, perhaps, or maybe just a complete stranger catching a wandering eye?
It's none of that, really. It's more like I want to feel better for for myself. If that makes sense. I want to make myself feel good about what I'm wearing.
Well, then that should be easy enough. Please, come here. Take a look at my wares, and we
Alright.
shall try some things on and see what makes your eyes give a bit of sparkle.
She nervously takes off her glasses and follows him.
And as he moves over to a counter, he will begin to pull out a few pillows, and upon them are a pair of earrings, a silver and red gemmed necklace, a few rings that lay upon the pillow, and also what appears to be a bracelet or armlet.
Oh, wow, that all looks so gorgeous. I don't know if it would look good on me. I've never had any of these worn before.
Well, and see, therein lies half the fun. See, we get to shop here at the Silver Agenda, then you will be able to see yourself before making such a crucial decision. And as he finishes saying that, he will pull out a silver mirror and place it on the desk right next to all the arraignment of jewelry. Please try whichever on that you which catches your eye first. My suggestion: these necklace here will always catch a nice eye, and also give you a bit more of a, well, I suppose how you would say a bit of an extra. Oh, the word's escaping me. He'll begin to just like ponder.
Is it alright to touch them?
But of course, how else would you see how they look unless you put them on? As he gives you a smile.
Oh, I can try them on?
Yes, yes.
Uh, which one do I do first? And she tries to look for some earrings that clip on tightly, and puts it on, and not sure at which length of the ear would be more comfortable for her. And she pulls her ear out and attaches it to both in what she thinks is a good spot. Is this good for an elf? I don't know if it should be higher up or near the head.
Oh, that looks fine. I might want to put the right side down just a bit, make them a bit even here, and then he'll place his hand upon yours, adjust it, and then help you place it in the correct area. Now hold that there, and then he grabs the mirror for you so you can see.
Whoa, that's the first time I've ever looked in a mirror and saw myself differently. This is weird. She's just happily touching the earrings and feels very good about her first impressions of it.
Well, what you have there in your hands is a nice silver and emerald earrings that are great for any occasion. You can wear them out, well, just for dinner or even while on the go. And they do make your eyes seem to pop a bit, if I may add.
Oh, thank you. Really, all this help is doing wonders for me. And she excitedly looks back at the cloth full of things and is like, I want to try on one of these, and finds a couple rings, typically silverish, and puts it on her index fingers because she doesn't know where to put them on. Huh.
That one there, the red one, is a ruby. The yellow is a topaz. The green is an emerald. But my favorite one is this, and as he points to the darker stone, one that is still lying on the pillow. This is made of obsidian. It's not the most eye-catching, but it does have a particular appeal to myself.
I actually quite like that one as well. And she goes and wears that one instead. That's very nice. And then she goes and looks for any necklaces that are not too, like, loose, more like ones that clip on tightly around the neck and doesn't really fly around everywhere when you're moving so much. Probably just like a small chain necklace or something.
So you won't find something like of like the perfect size, most of them being more of a dressy fashion style. But you do find one that sort of meets your, we'll call it, requirements. This one has 5 emeralds placed in it, and is made of silver as well.
All these look so pretty. I'm almost afraid to ask how much they cost. I never spent anything on luxury before.
Well, you do look like a lady that would at least be able to afford a few of these things. Which would you like? If you wish to buy all, I'm more than happy to cut a beautiful woman such as yourself a bit of a friend's deal.
Well, let me see if I can find everything I want first. Is there anything that you can attach to clothing, like a pin or brooch or something?
Ah, more of an exquisite taste. Yes, yes, of course. Is there a particular one that you're looking for? We have some in a flower model, some animals, birds, a stag, things, little nature here and there.
I had this lovely little garden that I tended, and I was very fond of the butterfly, personally.
Unfortunately, I don't have a butterfly. I can have one made up for you in about a week's time, but garden, I do have a flower.
A flower. Yeah, that sounds better, actually.
Yeah, he'll pull out what is almost a like green glass-like material. It's got some very fine detail in it, and from the looks of it, you can easily see that it is a rose in the stages of blooming. Around it, surrounded by a bit of silver, encrusted with small little pearls, and then a pin on the back. So in this way, you can attach it to your shirt or cloak.
This is amazing. I feel like I got everything I wanted. So, how much is it?
Well, the brooch there alone is about 700 gold. Each of those rings will be a varied amount depending on which ones you would like. Then we can further discuss the transaction. The necklace itself is 600 and the earrings are 250.
Hmm.
But of course, as I said, if you wish to purchase a bit of a bundle, I'm more than happy to cut you a deal.
I would be happy as well.
So tell me, which would you like? Pick your favorite three.
My favorite three. I would have to go with the earrings, the brooch, and the I guess the necklace.
Well, a bit of an expensive taste, but I like it. I'll call it 1,500 gold, and all three are yours.
Can I look at myself in the mirror again?
But of course. He'll
She
grab the
takes it.
mirror and hold it up for you.
She holds it and she looks at everything that she's wearing right now, and it's taking like a couple minutes, and she has her back turned towards him as she's um, checking everything out, and she notices when she brings the mirror back to her face that a single tear is dropping from her cheek, and then she wipes it and holding back the rest. Okay. And then she situates herself and turns back around. I'll take it. I'll take it. And she fumbles for money and pays. Was it 1,500?
That is correct.
She will hand over 1,580 gold.
Well, with that amount of extra coin, then almost I feel as if a gift is in order. You said that you like this black ring a bit as well? Here, take it, it's yours.
I very much appreciate it, but I feel like it's generous to tip, you know? You've done so much to help me. So please, take this 20 gold as well.
He'll smile and just say, a gift for a gift, and then begin to count the coin himself, double check everything, kind of just give it a good look over. Say, well, everything seems to be in order here, and as long as you are happy with your appearance and your purchase, well, then I couldn't be happier.
She bows deeply and goes, I am indeed very happy. Thank you so much, sir. And then she turns and exits the door with a huge freeing sigh, like she's seeing all this pent up, uptight energy that she's been holding together for so long. And starts walking back to the tavern.
All right, Togo, Zanashi, did you guys have anything different, or just still hanging out?
After a couple hours, or an hour or two, and a couple of rotations, once I saw that the early morning was about the same, I'd probably just maybe take a couple strolls around the city, just seeing if there's anything interesting. Maybe pass by the jail, not go in it, but see if I can find it and see what it looks like from the outside.
Do you need company, Togo?
I mean, if you want, I'm just gonna go walk around and look at stuff. If you want to sit here drinking, that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna go start anything, so just gonna see what the city is like.
I'll stay here then.
All right. But I'll just kind of wander around and see if anything kind of piques my interest that I find in the city that I think is either unique or could be something that we might be in, or someone might be interested in.
All right, give me a perception check. Perfect. Zanashi, did you have anything?
Yeah, I whispered it to you.
But at this point, it really doesn't require a whisper. We can put it like that.
Are y'all worried?
No, I mean I'm reading you like a book right now.
What do you think?
No, Modar's reading a book.
Yeah, Modar's reading a book. I'm exploring the city.
Oh,
Zanashi's currently sitting there whispering the DM.
I'm sorry, I misread the entire situation. My mistake. Zanashi is whispering something not
To the
nefarious.
DM.
So go ahead.
Exactly.
All right, Zanashi, give me a perception check.
Ooh, not bad.
I'm half convinced I'm being
Nope.
followed, but
So, what I will say is you don't spot anything that you're looking for. It seems that most of the surrounding people are pretty calm. It's fairly early in the day. Still, roughly at this point, 8:30, 8:45. So, not too much ruckus going about.
This place is boring. Bring me more wine.
almost like 30 seconds after you yell that, you just hear a thoop. Well, here's some more wine. I hope you're having a fine time. And then thoop, jumps back in.
I'm never going to get used to that.
Togo, as you take a look around, the main things that you spot are decent sized squads, roughly 10 to 12 in like a formation, making their way about the city. You see most of them heading towards what you would know to be the Wheat Civet Guild Hall. And while you're all also looking for a prison, the only thing that you spot that may be something that fits that description is there will be a building, but surrounded by a 10-foot solid wall, stone wall.
Do I hear anything from behind the stone wall?
You don't hear anything, actually. It's pretty quiet.
Okay. All right then. The guards going towards the Wheat Civet, are they seemingly like patrols around the city, or do I think they're more part of the military effort? Or do they look like there's something that's a common occurrence, or is this something specifically for the war in Laos?
I would say from your experience in the city, you're just unsure. You don't know if this is just like a normal exercise or if this has anything to do with the war in Laos. You've only been here
Okay.
about a day, haven't really paid too much attention to this kind of movement.
That's fair. Do I see any shop merchants who seem like they're bored around this time, like stalls or something like that?
Zanashi's bored.
Are you a shop merchant? Do you sell goods on the street?
I sell ass kickings.
I thought you gave them away for free.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Do I see
So-
any kind of like stall or anything?
You see a few of like street vendors. Most seem a bit busy, just like setting up their shops if they're not already fully open. And most of the street vendors, as you walk around, just sell small arraignments, fish, fresh fruit, things of that manner.
I'll go up and peruse the fruit merchant while some of these patrols are coming through, and as I'm perusing, say, seems like a lot of guard activity around here. Is something up, or
Oh, don't you know the war in Laos is... Well, Wheat Civets is sending reinforcements.
oh, is this all just because of the war in Laos? We just came into town yesterday, but hadn't heard anything about it until we got here.
Samira bringing people in here and there. Or come in time.
Huh. Okay. So this is not normally this busy with people in the streets. It's a special event, you might say.
Oh, of course not. Don't you worry, my child. It is all fine.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful. We're new in town, just passing through, but it seemed like it was a hustle and bustle all around here.
Cactus fruit?
Cactus fruit? I've never had a cactus fruit before.
Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet it is.
Now, look at it. Is it actually spiky on the outside?
It has not so much spikes, but what appear to be little bumps, and with a green top and a probably more of like a dark reddish color, as it's not fully ripe.
Huh.
Sweet bite.
Sure. Sure, how much?
1 copper.
I'll take 2 if you got them.
Grab you another one. See a
Uh,
smile grow across his face.
If someone was to tell me, I'm a bit unfamiliar with the laws around here. I noticed that there was a restriction on magic use and stuff like that. Do you know any of the restrictions on that and what's allowed and what isn't?
he'll just kind of like get close to you. Shh, no magic.
No magic.
And then give you like kind of like a charade. Pretends a rope is around his neck, extends it up above his head, and then sticks his tongue out.
Oh,
Bad.
really?
Yes, very bad.
I mean, like, where do they take people that do magic? Does anyone know? Or they just disappear?
He'll just point, but where he points, you just see like eventually leading to a building, and then he say, "Far, far."
All right. Well, thank you for the.
Go ahead and
information.
roll
I
me
will-
an intelligence check.
Intelligence.
Correct.
Preferably better than Modar's. That'll be better.
You know that he's pointing to the west. Eventually, after Mito, you
Was it-
know it meets the ocean.
Oh. Okay then. Well, thank you for the information, sir. I will definitely enjoy these. Do I have any idea how to eat these things? The
Well-
cactus fruit?
He just told you to bite it.
Okay.
But, you know, if you want to, like, peel it, kind of, like, break it open, maybe cut it, kind of look into it a bit more, it's up to you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. And I'll walk away and just probably spend a good 2 hours seeing if there are any notable shops I find, be it something that's like I don't know, cool blacksmiths. I'm probably not going to be purchasing anything. We're just looking for the hot spots of the town, you know, where all the people hang out. Really just trying to get a lay of the city and what's around. Not anything in particular, but after that I'll head back to the tavern and probably try one of the cactus fruit.
Sounds good. Well, I will say, as, like, you look around, you don't notice, like, too many differences between other large cities that you've been in, and even most of the smaller ones, smaller villages. There seems to be like a couple like centralized markets, some trading areas, and those seem to be the more centralized focused, where everyone seems to be either going or leaving. Other than that, as you make your way out of like the market area, just finding some more like residential style areas. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
All right.
So
I'll probably just head back.
back to you, Modar. As you are hanging out and you have been looking into the book, you have a hard time focusing on any of the material and the content within Tempest's Isle. As the time goes on while you're sitting in the guild hall, you catch like bits of distractions, people coming in, and you just see reporting to whom you would know to be Samira and then Togo's two friends. 20 arrived from Tottenham, 15 from Ashbourne, and from what you gather, just reporting numbers of the influx of individuals making their way to Mito.
Do I see Samara come out of her office, or she's still in her office?
Yeah, she's come out of the office and has been like walking around conversing with the, we'll say like the messengers, the runners that have been giving the reports.
I will put my book down and take off and head back towards the inn where the rest of my party is.
Zanashi, can you roll me a d4? And then I'm sorry, Modar, what were you saying?
And I'm making sure like I'm not like hiding or anything or trying to be stealthy. I'm very open, and like if they're looking for me, they're finding me as I'm leaving.
So, I mean, Modar, from your statement, I will just add that you'll notice that people kind of like make eye contact with you here and there, but people don't really seem to pay you too much of a mind. The only thing that will come up is Samira will just take a moment to speak with you and say, so I had spoke to Rord this morning. He had nothing but nice things to say about you.
Well, I'm glad. I would hope so. He's been a great mentor over the years.
Now, unfortunately, he could not say much for the ones that you find yourselves in command of, but he did mention that I do as I wish. But with that being said, I do believe that he means to make the call on my best judgment. So my offer is this. Find a way to be able to prove yourselves as friends to Mido and friends of the guild and the Wheat Civet members that it holds. If you are able to complete such a task, then we can have those pendants removed anytime that you may find yourselves back here in our city.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate and completely understand. Like I said, I never expected him to tell you how to run his city. I just wanted to make sure that you understood that we meant you no harm. We'll see. I'll see if I can talk with my friend. We may be able to help aid your cause in some way or another. Thank you very much.
I do appreciate the extended hand. I feel that it is a slight obligation to inform you. Roar did make it clear that Vala would be having no part in any of the business that's taking part in Laels.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your candidacy and honesty there with that. But like I said, I do represent them, but it doesn't mean I can't help fellow travelers on as I travel around this land, look for what I'm looking for. I do appreciate the hospitality. Thank you.
She'll give you like a bit of a what you can tell to be a forced smile. Give you a slight nod as it's like being forced out, and then she will just say, "Well, if you excuse me, I do have much work to attend. As you can, show you that you're more than aware. We've had quite an influx of individuals make their way here. We might be able to set out a bit quicker than anticipated."
Well, that's very good. That's very good for you. Seems like you've got a lot of people joining you. That's excellent. Well, have a good day and good luck with all of that.
Thank you. You have a pleasant day as well.
And we'll head back towards that area.
All right. So the first to arrive back at the Sleeping Lamp Tavern will be Alencia. With your new purchases, you make your way in, and the only thing you'll really notice is that Zanashi is at a table by herself. Only two empty goblets at this point, but you can just read upon her face that she is miserably bored.
I go over to her and go, "Is something the matter?"
This city's no fun.
No, no fun.
Man, You didn't want me to go with you earlier, so kind of hurt my feelings.
What? No, no. It was really nothing important. It was just this. And she looks at the things that she's wearing. Um,
I will say, whatever you purchased, you definitely look more lovely, Valencia.
really?
Of course, I wouldn't lie.
Of course you wouldn't. Sorry. Um, yeah, my master always told me to dress the same way for many years, and so this is quite refreshing for me.
Looks good on you.
I'm glad you think so. That means a lot. But enough about me. What's troubling you about the city?
It just seems like they're too strict on their whatever their laws are. Like nobody here to is mean to each other. Somebody that I can crack over the head. Just I want to have some fun, and fun to me is fighting something. This is not fun.
I can certainly understand your perspective because I tend to be a lawful person based on the society that I grew up in. And we've definitely had different upbringings. But the good news is that we still have the thing that's common amongst most um, cities are places like this tavern and things that you could do for recreation or even stuff that we can do amongst ourselves without the regards for laws.
Like what?
Well, I wouldn't really know much about the laws here, but back in Glent's, um, there were times where you went to there are restricted places, and the forest is thick and filled with night creatures that you typically shouldn't go out on your own to explore. But when you're living in a stuffy city for so long, it becomes freeing, and you'd rather take the punishment just to have a little bit of fun, in my experience.
Well, those night screamers or whatever you call them sound like fun.
It was fun for me. I love walking through the forest. It was freeing. I felt independent. I'm sure you have a different idea of what fun may be.
Yeah, I just like to kill things, whether it's killing animals during a hunt or killing creatures or killing elves. I mean, it's all fun.
Well, you certainly don't belong in cities, that is for sure.
But yet y'all keep dragging me to cities.
I would say that cities, for the most part, are safer and more comfortable to take respite in. But for your sake, we don't stay in them very long. We're only here for our objective, and I do agree that lingering in these lawful cities is probably not a great idea.
Are you saying I get us run out?
Well, why would you?
I mean, I'm asking you, are you saying that I get us run out of the cities?
Oh, are you saying that you would be responsible for us getting run out? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I thought you said.
No, no, no. I mean, for your sake, we don't typically stay longer in these cities than we usually do, like, say, for a week. It's more like a couple of days because we only need to accomplish what we need, take a nice, healthy rest, and then we keep walking. We don't want to leave you with not many things to do.
Very well.
That's how I see things. So, if you want, when they get back, we can discuss when's the soonest we can leave the city. And then you'll get back to what you love doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. I think that's what it's like to be in a group with different people. We just gotta accommodate for different things. I'm probably insufferable to put up with in the first place.
You do grow on a person, even though still a little annoying. But I do like you.
And I like you too, Zanashi, as well as Modar and Toko.
So what I will say is, Modar and Togo, both of you will actually run into each other outside of the Sleeping Lamp Tavern after going through your adventures in the city of Mido. But you would both know to be roughly about 5 to 10 minutes away of a walk before you get there.
Oh, well, hello. Where have you been all day?
Yes. Well, I was out checking the city out. Went back to the Wheat Civic Guild. You know, just seeing what I can find around here and exactly how tight this no magic thing really is. And they definitely
Ooh, I
seem
was
to be
going to
taking it.
talk to you about that.
Yes, they
I
definitely seem
too
to take
went
it
and
very
did that.
serious.
Yeah. I talked to some merchants, and one of them implied that they kill you if you are caught using magic without being allowed to, but seemed terrified to tell me about it. I'll also hand him the other cactus fruit, and said he also sold me these, which are apparently very tasty.
Ah, very nice.
I'll be honest, we may want to pack up and head out tomorrow, and if we're trying to rest up some, try and rest in small villages here for the next while we're in the south, in order to avoid such restrictions.
Well, I did talk with them. Unfortunately, uh, they after they talked to Rogue back at the guild, he spoke highly of myself, but he was not. He doesn't know the rest of you to speak for you, and I never expected him to.
I didn't either. I don't blame him for that. I think I met him twice maybe, and once I was turning him down to joining the guild, so I don't expect him to stick his neck out for me.
No, absolutely. It's more than what I expected. But at the same time, she did say that if we could find a way to prove ourselves to the city, that they could look into having these removed. But we needed to prove that we were loyal to the city.
What did Rourke say about joining the war?
They are staying out of it.
Hmm.
So the Snow Hare
You know-
Guild will not have anything to do with that.
One, I think that's a good thing for us. And two, I think that there's not going to be much that we can offer her besides getting the Snow Hare Guild to join that immediately is going to be worthwhile for them to remove dangerous magic users' pendants.
Well, the only other thing I was thinking, if we can convince Zanashi to take us to the tribes, and if we can convince them to join the fight, that may be able to swing things in our favor.
But that we only swing things for this one city, not the surrounding towns, not the next city down.
Well,
Honestly,
if
once we finish our business that here, I don't plan on coming back to the city.
I understand, but if we prove ourselves here, that may give us some standing in Risk, and that's where we need to go. This I do have enough information now to believe that this is the area where we need to find these airships.
Honestly,
And
from what I was hearing from stories that my friends had heard, they traveled amongst the tribes in the area around Raisk and said that the orc tribes had stories of it too. That might be a place to start. Even
Yeah.
if we don't try to help the city out and getting them to join the war, it might be something worthwhile to go and try and see if they have any information first, because from what I've heard or from what I've gathered, they aren't big on the whole no magic thing, or they are not a part of it.
Yes, and maybe these druid tribes as well that are in the area. That may be something to look into as well. But I suppose we talk to Zanashi and see what she knows of these tribes and see if, because at the same time, if there is bad blood between Zanashi and these tribes, that may not be the best thing to walk into them with her.
Or at least without any idea what's about to happen. But we know the area, the Celestial Vale, is where they said that the ship might be. But I think that we might. I think that it might be worth our time to try and find that. I don't know if that's in the city or not, but
Yeah,
I say if we're trying to hunker down and rest for a little bit, maybe we try and stick to the smaller towns for the next little bit, go into cities when we have to, but I'd rather not stay long term in them in this area.
that's very wise, I believe. Definitely smart.
But that's what I gathered today, was that everyone is prepped and ready for war, and magic users get... He was pointing to the ocean. I don't know what all he meant, but it seemed like he wasn't saying that they kill them or get rid of them. But he seemed very hush-hush, like, don't speak about it openly.
Yes, I
about
would
it, so.
definitely prefer not to find out exactly what that means.
I would.
So about this
I say
time,
we try
you
and
would have
convince them to
arrived
leave
to
as
the
soon as
tavern.
possible.
Oh yeah, so let's go in, see what's happening.
Maybe try and leave in the morning.
I'm up for it if everybody else is, as long as everybody feels like they're as rested as they would like to be.
I don't know if I'm as rested as I would like to be, but I'd like to get out of these cities. Because I doubt small towns are able to or can afford to have such restrictions.
It seems we are all very eager to leave.
Well, hello, Alencia.
Sorry, I heard you from behind me and I felt like giving my opinion.
Nosy much?
What did you all spend your day doing?
Nothing important.
Bling bling.
With a passive perception of 15,
With a
do I notice
passive
it?
perception.
Do I notice the new bling on Alencia?
Does he have jewelry blindness?
Go ahead and I think it would. Yeah, go ahead and just give me a perception check, because I think it would really depend on like how much you've actually like paid attention to Alencia.
Got it.
I would say that like the little shimmer of lights like bouncing off the jewelry from the torches and the fire that is kind of emitting light through the tavern, it will catch your eye, and you will notice the newly added jewelry. Raiment that
Alencia, what do you have there?
Oh, these?
Mm-hmm.
I just thought they were nice looking.
Wonderful. I'm gonna look at the ring, and can I make an investigation check and see how much I think it's worth?
I kneel down to let you inspect.
Just kind of looking
Sure,
at the
give me a jewelry appraising check.
jewelry appraising.
Investigation.
Oof.
Seems to be pretty expensive.
Poof. Looks pretty nice there, Alencia.
Yeah, it did cost a bit of my funds, but I don't have much left to spend on myself anyway.
All right. Well,
I have
I don't
like
know about you guys, but me and Modar were thinking of maybe trying to move on in the next day or so.
I'm
Tomorrow or
all
the day
for
after.
it. Count me in.
yeah, she doesn't really like it here, and I tend to agree.
I'm assuming we're sitting around a table at this point, not just standing awkwardly in the middle.
Not unless you want to stand.
It's hard for people to have a conversation with me while I'm standing there and they're all like looking down over me.
I got out
Well,
of my
Lindsay
chair.
is kneeling for you, so.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fair.
I basically stand up and go, well, if we're all ready to go, then we can just leave here if you want.
I mean, what time is it?
With the amount
You
of
said it was
time
like-
that everyone wanted to wait, Modar had headed out fairly early to begin his things, but returning it would be near midday. From the Judgment of the Sun, you would assume near 11:30.
11:30. Okay. Are our horses here at the inn? I'm assuming.
Yep, the last place that you've left them was there at the end, just to be taken care of, and at the hitching post.
Okay. I think we can leave today. I'm fine with that if we want to.
If there's anything
But-
you need, I can take care of it for you.
I was going to stay and play for these people this evening and see if we get another night of room and board paid for while we're here, but
That's completely up to you. I'm not leave this afternoon or leave tomorrow morning. Zanashi, what information do you actually have on the local tribes to the south?
I mean, what kind of information are you talking about? I mean, I am a tribe person, so I know just about anything about them.
All right, let's be frank here. I want to know if we do run into them with you with us, is it going to be trouble or not? Do they want your head? Or do any one of the tribes want your head?
Well, it's guaranteed that if we run into a tribe, we are going to have to fight. But I will fight for us. It's the way of the tribes.
Is there any chance of peaceful conversation with them if we meet with them?
pretty slim to none unless we catch one or two by themselves.
And what do you think the realistic chances are of convincing them to fight with Mito in Lails if it's worth their while?
It'd have to really be worth their while. Um, I mean, opportunity to kill elves. I mean, that could be a draw for them. But we're definitely going to need to get some kind of disguise for Valencia. It's just not going to work if we run into the. Most of the tribes aren't going to like Valencia.
I am
I
working
think
on a way to work with that. That may not be as big of an issue, um, if we need to, but I'm not
I might
quite
be able
there
to
yet.
help with that a little bit if we kind of work together on that one, but not much.
pardon, that feels like a lot that's going to change for me in order to seem passable. I would like to know what this is before we even agree to this.
It would simply be a disguise for yourself to pass you as something other than elf to get past the orcs.
You can
It's
disguise races?
with magic you can do many different things.
Oh, okay.
And Zanashi, do you know anything about the druid tribes that they spoke about earlier that she spoke about?
Uh, the magic users, we tend to stay away from that tribe or those tribes.
Are they orcish as well, or are they elves, or mixes of everything?
What are they? Kyle? I have no idea, to be honest with you.
They are a mix of different races. But you would know that the Council of Druids to be made up of 4 members. There's Zanashi.
Oh, man. I know who you're talking about. Um, yeah, there's a mixture of races, and the 4 druids are. That's only one way to put it. They're kind of assholes.
Are they assholes like you, or assholes like real assholes that are just looking to kill everything?
Not assholes like they want to kill everything, but
Just they don't trust a bunch of people that try to keep them from using magic.
yeah, kind of assholes that I want to just bash over the head.
So they're like the civet lady.
I mean, you want to bash everybody over the head. I'm pretty sure at one point or another
That's not true.
you've wanted to bash all of our heads in.
Only when she was under magical effect. I don't think she'd try and bash our heads in on a normal day.
I am disappointed in you, Modar. Think that of me.
Modar will just kind of give you a look and look you up and down. Zanashi, I trust you with my life, of course, but
Zanashi, can you roll me a history check, please?
but with that being said, you do have a history of being hot-tempered.
So, Zanashi, with your history check, what I will say is after you give that explanation, it does strike you a bit of remembrance. The Druid Council is not a particular tribe, but how you would see it as like the enforcement of to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
they are basically the only ones that are using magic in the area.
Oh yeah. Don't think I ain't forgot. But these druids aren't going to like you using magic.
Are they the oppressors or the oppressed?
I think they're the people that are stopping people based off what
They're like the rulers. That's the way I look at it. They tell everybody what goes and what doesn't go. But they do believe they're protecting them.
So this Druid Council oversees the Meadow and Rice area.
Yes.
what about Zafari? Zalfari. It looks like it's not necessarily connected over here through roads. Do they also have influence there, or is that with another city?
Are they, Kyle?
I gotta flip it. What I will do is I will draw this for you. Can you see that arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And then, like, to the ocean is the area, like the country that is known as Platini, that is in the world of Elista. And as long as you are within, like, those borders, magic is outlawed.
Maybe we make our way over to, as we head south, if we're gonna hold up somewhere for a couple days after Mido, instead of going to spend a couple days in Raisk, we go to Zafari and head down that way. And from there, we go and try and find a boat to take us to the Celestial Vale.
Is that a swamp between the road and Safari? Or is that field? That kind of looks like swampland to me.
Those are actually like plains, grass fields, and like sporadic like woodlands.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, looking at this map, I don't see any roads heading in that direction. How confident are we that we can navigate over to that area?
I mean, I would think that we could, if nothing else, be able to find the road. We either find the road or find the ocean if we head to the road down. Like, do you see that? Or do I have that off? Somewhere around this area, head down south, eastish. Eventually, we either hit the town, find the road, or hit the ocean. But if we do that, then we've added a couple days. But if nothing else, we can always just head back there, or follow up north and try and find a boat to take us down to Celestial Vale. But if I am up for trying to stay out of this area as much as possible.
Understandable, absolutely, yes. Well, if you feel that you can lead and guide us there, I have no debate with that. I would definitely prefer it.
Why does Zanashi not get to lead us there?
Well, you
I was about to say, Zanashi probably has a pretty good idea of it, not this area, like
Z-
traveling in this region.
you're more than welcome to, Zanashi, if you feel you can guide us. You just did not speak up, and Togo seemed to have a plan for a direction to go. Do you believe you can guide us through that area? Is that dangerous? Are we gonna have issues with the tribes and things like that along that route?
We shall see.
I mean, we have to go that way anyways, and it's just whether we travel the road or don't travel the road, but
It all depends on if the DM rolls an encounter.
I mean, it doesn't matter where I guide y'all. If he go roll random encounters,
Well,
But off the road, we might run into more animals or things like that. But I'm not overly concerned. We're a group that can take care of ourselves. I'm not concerned about our safety and well-being. And
indeed, and everybody is. Did you want to wait till tomorrow morning, or are we ready to go this evening, or did anybody need some extra time before leaving this town?
Well, about that, after hearing Zanashi's feelings about Mito, and considering the amount of entertainment this tavern already has, I don't know if a performance this evening is really that necessary, Togo. As amazing as it is to listen to you, I much prefer you over anyone else, but I don't
that
think
is
these people need it.
that is understandable. I was just the only other thing that I had down on the docket. I might pass by the guild hall to tell my friends that we're heading out and wish them well out in uh, Lails. But besides that, if we wanted to settle up and head out, I'm more than happy to.
If you have personal reasons to attend to, then I will gladly wait for that.
But I can do that on our way out if. But
Whenever you
besides
want to
that, I
take it.
have nothing else really besides our general cleaning up and making our way to packing bags, probably go up and talk to the head gnome in charge.
Alright, we'll wait for you then.
I'll stay here so I don't get in trouble.
I'll keep Zanashi in mind, don't worry.
I'm sure you will. And I'll walk up to the head gnome in charge if he's there. I'm assuming still at the bar.
As you make your way up, he turns facing you, kind of leans back, rocking in the chair a little bit. But from being a short stature and having the short stubby arms, you'll see that he kind of like misses the bar itself. And well, what can I do you for?
I've got something unfortunate to say. I'm not going to be able to play. But my friends have decided to get up and leave. So I am sorry,
Your friends
but
don't want to stay, not even for the day. And if you plan to leave in the morning, then at least tonight you could play.
that's
I
what they
know,
say.
Yes.
Nice.
Like ice.
No, we've had a change of plans, but I thank you for potentially allowing me to. Is there anything else I owe you for drinks or food or horses, or I want to settle up before we head out? And if we come back through, hopefully maybe I can haggle a performance out of you next time we're in town. But
It wasn't too much of a bother, just a chore thing to do. If you have 1 gold to cover, that shall be sufficient. That will do.
I will pass him 2 gold.
Woohoo! Yippee! A trifling great day indeed.
I'll nod my head and wave and walk back to the table and say we're all settled up and ready to head out. If we can, I'm assuming is the guild hall kind of on the way out of the city from here?
From this location, no. It would be just
Okay.
like about 20 minutes to your like northeast.
I will probably be back in about an hour or so if you guys want to check the horses and everything. We can be on our way when I return.
Sounds good. And when he settled up, that was for all of the rooms or just his room?
That was for the rooms and well, actually, the rooms were already paid for previously. It is for mainly the wine and taking care of the mounts.
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure it was all of the mountains and everything, not just his.
Yep. You're
Yeah,
all
I
good.
had bartered for all of our rooms, so or got all of our rooms and our table and everything, so I assumed everything was under me. But I'll make my way to the wheat civet and try and find
Your
the
buddies.
Carey brother or Carey siblings.
Yep.
Twins.
So what I will say is just about 10 to 15 minutes after Togo leaves the tavern, you all remaining waiting for him to return before getting your things and belongings together, you will hear the bell go off indicating that it is 12 p.m. as a performance begins to take place. At this point, probably Zanashi, you're becoming more than annoyed with this happening through the entire morning.
We got to get out of this place.
But Togo, as you arrive, you will see Arlen and Amra Carey that are seeming to be a bit busy. Neither of them are performing at this time. And they are conversing with a half a dozen what you assume to be guild members.
I'll kind of stand in a corner and let them talk for a minute and see if I can catch one of their eyes and see if they notice me for 5 or so minutes.
So as you're hanging out, it takes roughly like a couple minutes. It probably seems more like a half an hour with just like that awkward waiting. But eventually you do catch Arlen's eye, and he'll give you like a bit of a nod and hold up a finger, and then you will see him kind of begin to excuse himself from the conversation as him and his sister both make their way over to you. Ah, my friend, how do you do for the day?
Sorry to drag you away. I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to say that it seems like me and my friends are off. One of them heard a rumor about something they've been chasing and any dust settle on it, so it seems we are headed off about as soon as I get back to the tavern and we get on our horses and start riding south.
Are you sure that's wise? Samira had given us word that a party had just arrived from the Cursed Mines to the northwest, and well, with you and your friends arriving, we drew the conclusion that it was the lot of you. Are you sure that you're fit to find yourselves back on the road?
I don't know, but we might be able to, or we're still fairly fresh, and we may shack up in a village here once we get closer to what we're looking for, but yeah, mine was something else. But we might try and find a place. Do you know anything about Zalfari? It's a town that we have marked on our map, but none of us have been, well, most of us haven't been this far south, and those of us that have are mostly just
It's just a small place made up of primarily humans. You won't find much there, just, I believe, a blacksmith and a tavern, and, well, some woodworkers, loggers, that use the forests and the woodlands to the east. But I will say that it is a better place than Ashbourne or Tottenham. And, well, they won't look down upon you for using any sort of arcane abilities.
Okay. I figure they probably don't have any boats one could charter to get to an island down south of Raisk. We'd probably have to go into Raisk itself for that.
Or
Unless
perhaps
you
one
know of
of the
another port
tribes.
farther south.
Not so much
How,
a port, but the tribes have, well, canoes and other things of the sort that can venture out into the ocean.
Okay. How friendly are these tribes that you you said you were among them? How welcome are outsiders?
We were only welcomed within a couple of them, but with most of the tribes being primarily orc dominated, well, we did find it a bit difficult to even get close and just watched from afar.
Huh. Which tribes were more friendly? Do you remember any names or titles or people?
You're making me pull up different notes. Give me just one moment.
You're saying you don't have it all memorized, every single question I could possibly ask? What is this?
I've got a good amount. Chief Razlar of the Dead Bones tribe is, well, quite ruthless but fair. He finds himself self-proclaimed to be an equal of that of the orcs, but the orcs don't see that simple human as, well, any match for him, any of them.
What were those names so I can write them down?
Chief Razlar of the Dead Bones tribe. And he is a self-proclaimed orc, but is actually a human.
Got it. Well, I thank you. I appreciate the help and everything. It will make this much easier for traveling down south, and I hope you guys are successful and can return relatively quickly from Laels. I hope everything is going well there,
Yes,
or as well as it can be.
what I will also warn you of is the Goblin tribe. By now, I'm sure that their ex-chiefess has passed. They don't tend to live for very long. But, well, let's just say they might look at you as a bit of a snack.
Well, I'd like to see them try to have a snack with me, but we will. Maybe I'll run into them and suck up some of that bad luck from you guys out in Laels.
We have had quite an influx from the neighboring villages. Hopefully, we will hear back from Raisk within a few days' time, and perhaps even some of those savage tribes may find a more civilized thing to fight for, rather than fighting amongst themselves.
We shall see, but I must be off. We're hitting the road, I guess, late, but we can still get a few miles under us before the sun sets, so good luck.
Good luck. By the way, we have heard of an old friend that may be in the south. Some of our contacts had relayed some information. Perhaps keeping an eye out. I'm not sure who or where they are, but near Raisk they should be.
I will keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye out. And I will let you guys know if I find anybody. But until we meet again, I wish you the best. No, leave.
All right. So what I will say is, because we're a little bit, I kind of got a little bit confused on our time. I forgot we started 30 minutes early. But let's go ahead and take our break as Togo arrives back at the Sleeping Lamp Tavern and all of your belongings are good to go. So we'll be back in just a few moments and then see what the party runs into next. We're back. All right. And we're back with more of Fragments of Remains. So, Togo, you just had a little bit of a goodbye with the Carey twins and left the guild hall, made your way back to the Sleeping Lamp Tavern, where you would see Zanashi, Alencia, and Modar getting all of the mounts ready. Zanashi still being the more, we'll say, instead of oddball, I feel like connected with nature with the moose.
I did have a bit of a like game rules question for you for our long rests. I'm assuming you want all of the time to be spent in one place, like doing general stuff, not like we go to a city for a couple or for 2 or 3 days and then travel to another city for where we stay there for 2 or 3 days with 1 or 2 days of travel in between.
Correct. Travel will interrupt.
Okay.
It is considered a vigorous activity.
That is what I assumed, but I was just clarifying. Anyways, I'll walk up and say, all right, we about ready to hit the road and travel on, and I'll grab Bill Lorenzo's reins.
Everything has been taken care of.
Wonderful.
All our loot accounted for.
Maybe we should stay a little longer.
First you want to go, now you want to leave. What's up?
I don't feel like I could get angry right now. I need rest.
For a long amount of time.
And that probably scares the shit out of Zanashi.
That's what I had been hinting at as to do we really want to leave right now or do we need to stick around for a few days?
Well, that's what I was like, we could leave tomorrow or the day after, but we should head out sooner. Or sooner rather than later, but...
I want to try to catch one of those leprechauns before we leave.
So we're gonna stay for another couple days? Alright.
Well, I'm trying to listen to all the concerns of everyone involved. I myself don't need to rest anymore, but if there's something you're not able to do without having a little more rest, then I'm not opposed to it.
There's nothing I can't do. Probably couldn't go as hard as I possibly could in certain situations, but
It's hard to be prepared for everything, but once we know what we're up against, perhaps a major threat in the future, we'll be sure to take the appropriate amount of rest.
so are we staying for the long rest, or are we gonna head to Zelfari and take a long rest there?
Yeah, whatever y'all want to do.
I am fine in terms of spell slots and inspirations, so really, do you want your rages back before we leave or not? In terms of like, if we're meta, like
Do you want to
how
get
people's
angry or not?
characters are. Do you want to get mad?
Resting is good for the emotional state.
You know the area better than we do, so if you need a rest before we head out, let's do that. I can continue my studies while we rest.
And I can play for us this evening as well.
I would like to listen to some more of your performances. They're very
All right, then
calming.
staying it is.
All right.
Go and re-hitch the horses and walk back in.
Everyone
the
starts
bonfire.
unloading everything. You go back in and talk to the old gnome and hopefully get your spot back.
Let's rewind time. How about that?
I'll
don't
walk
have
up
deal
to
with
the,
all this.
put my elbow on the
It's like
bar
being
and
in the
go,
army.
my friends have no idea what they want to do. It sounds like we'll stay if you would still like me to play.
It's fine. Either way, like even if we rewind it, you guys unpack, it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
No, I
But-
like that we're an indecisive group.
Me too.
Retcon.
But what I will say is At this point, if there's anything else that you guys would like to do, maybe even have an awkward conversation back with the Carey twins and let them know that you're staying for a couple more days after you said
No, it sounds
goodbye.
like they're gonna be leaving, so I'm just gonna let it lie. If they run into me, yeah, we ran back into town.
So, but what I will say is I'll leave it up to you guys. If there's anything else that anybody would like to do, um, we can go ahead and take care of that, or we can just move along through the next few days for your long rest to be completed.
I'm just gonna be working on that spell. As long as I still feel that it's not like copying a spell into a spell book is not considered actively practicing magic. Do it quietly in my room, but outside of that, I don't plan on doing anything.
Togo will walk to the beaches and see if there are any tall cliff faces and see if he notices anything about them based off what the merchant was saying. Like, just walk around, see if he can get to the shore or any shores that they have, or docks, and see if there's any high cliffs that I can see from them. But besides that, no.
So what I will say is the main thing that you spot is like a gallows type area where they have a few ropes that give you the indication that they, hang people in this area. And then just from like the cliff facing down where there are like no stairs leading down to the shoreline, as you look out, you just see like a good abundance of boats and ships that are in the port.
Okay, I don't see any bodies hanging off the cliff faces, though.
No, you don't see any bodies.
Okay. I was making sure that was an incorrect assumption, but the gallows is what I'm assuming he was referencing with the rope and noose imagery. Then.
Yeah, I would say that's a safe assumption.
All right, that's about all Togo has. Besides that, he'll probably play however many evenings if they'll have him, but at least tonight.
It will just be for tonight. So you'll get like one stay for free, but for the rest, wow, that sounded a little weird. For the rest of your long rest, it will cost everybody 20 silver apiece for the room and food, and for the stables, an extra 5 gold. So 2 gold and 5 silver for the next few days.
$2 gold and 5 silver?
Correct. And that is after Togo's reduction. But I don't want to sell you short, Togo. If you have like a song or anything, feel free. If not, then we can just move on.
Are silvers pennies to gold?
It is
silvers are dimes to gold.
Okay.
Yeah, 10
silver equals a gold piece.
And then
this
10
is 2.5
copper.
gold.
Correct.
Yeah, and then 10 copper is 1 silver.
I got it now.
We're in a port town. I've been listening to sea shanties. So yeah, I have something. So do they have an actual stage up there, like, or do they just perform like all around in different areas and on tables and stuff?
From every time they performed, it's just on tables.
Okay, is there any kind of stage, or do I just hop up on a table that's not being used and start my performance?
You just hop up on a table, from what you assume.
Hop up on a table, Togo. Get with it. Let's rock this place.
Got it. I'm assuming a bell strikes on the hour and he just kind of gives me a nod and tells me to whenever I'm playing.
So, what he will do is he will actually point to a tube that is behind the bar.
A tube behind the bar.
Yep. The same
I like
ones that
point at
the
myself and then point at him and then or point at the tube and then point at myself again and then point back at the tube with a questioning look on my face.
will give you a nod. Yes.
I will try and jump into the tube.
All right. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Saving throw dexterity. Ooh. 11.
So as you jump into the tube, it's a pretty tight fit for you, but you make your way in, and as you do, it's thoop, and it all goes dark, and you feel yourself just sliding down, banks to the left, then banks back to the right. You feel it going down even farther. How fast you're moving, you're unsure. You can just feel like the tightness of the tube, and then it goes straight down. You assume that it goes roughly 10 to 15 feet before it starts to arc back up. And then as it does, you thoop, and as you look around, you find yourself in a cellar. And as you're kind of flying across the room, you take a quick look, opening your eyes just a little bit, and you see a variety of gnomes working the basement area, cooking, moving cask of ale from area to area, and just doing preparations needed for above. And as you fly through the air, you thoop back into another tube, zoom around, and then you feel a force of air as you start to get pushed upwards, and then you thoop right out onto a table.
He had this ready for you, man. We
love this.
almost left town without him getting to do it. He'd have been disappointed.
Slightly.
I was gonna be disappointed if we did, but that's why I was pushing the long rest idea. But Togo will kind of look out like a little stunned, and then look out at the crowd and be like, "This place is cool as shit," and start clapping or start stomping his foot on the table, just seeing if he can get a couple people to join in with him and start singing. There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of that ship was Billy O.T. The winds blew harder, bowed it down, blow me, Billy boys, blow. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when on her right side a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the weller man come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the weller man's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the weller man come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the lines went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut, and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular calls to encourage the captain, crew, and all. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Figured sea songs were appropriate for a port.
That was smooth as butter.
And try and do like
And since I know you used your
mostly-
inspiration, you can go ahead and just take another one.
Awesome.
And you did get my message, but what I did during his performance.
Okay, no, I just saw it.
Yeah, when he come out of that tube, I saw him jump in that tube. When he come out of that tube, I immediately jumped up, ran, and attempted to jump into one.
So what I will say, as you see Togo pop out, like a kind of glint comes in your eye, you run, go towards the tube, and you thoop, but only your head goes in. You just feel this suction of air as it like kind of pulls your hair and like it whips in front of your face. You feel it becoming a bit tangled. Just your way too large to fit through this thing.
Zanashi, what are you... Just hold still, don't struggle.
I don't
And
know
I'll-
if I could hear you right now. My head's in a tube.
No, the only
Well-
thing Zanashi hears is.
Alright, well, then Lindsay's gonna have a lot of trouble with pulling her out, but she's gonna try.
Give me an athletics check. As you like tug and the force is just pulling and she is firmly stuck.
After I finally come to the realization that I cannot fit into this tube, I will try to pull myself out.
All right, athletics check. And we'll say,
I'm not technically assisting you.
I
So.
will say with like the assistance from Alencia, it's definitely rough to pull your head out. You just feel and hear like a as like you kind of get it out and like the suction frees itself from you. Your hair is a complete mess at this point. Your braids undone towards the end and just frizzed out, poofed, and quite curly to say the least.
Like popping champagne, she goes flying into the ceiling and comes back down.
So by the time I'm out, Togo is finished with his performance.
Yep, you missed
And
everything.
I immediately start shouting at Togo. Togo! Were the leprechauns in the tube? Did you see them?
It was just a tube. They just go from place to place.
Did you find their home?
I was in a tube, Zanashi. What do you want? It was real dark, and there's lots of wind, and then I came out.
You didn't see any of the leprechauns?
Saw a tube.
Zanashi just kind of puts her head down and gets a frown on her face and goes and sits down.
Alencia, who flew back after her head popped out, just gets back on her feet and just very awkwardly goes, "It's all right. We'll find some leprechauns someday."
But the secret's getting to their home. That's where they keep all the treasure.
I'll make sure to tell you what I know when I find more information.
You can research it.
Yeah, I'm
With
sure.
those fancy books like Modar reads.
I've read a few books. Not very extensive research ones, more like child novels. But when we get back to Glenn's, I can probably find it again.
Everything can be researched, Zanashi. Everything.
Togo, when you finish your performance, you will see the old gnome Pops just motioning back into the tube.
Oh, hop back in the tube.
So as you go through, repeating like the same manner, zooming in, banking to the left, and then back to the right, down, you feel yourself shoot back up with the force of wind, and this time with a bit of anticipation, being shot forth to the next tube. Can you give me a perception check?
Perception.
So as you shoot over, you will kind of catch out of the corner of your eye a glint of gold before you hit the next tube. And then you feel that suction force you back up, which moves you back towards Pops, who will be quite happy, clapping, and with a big smile on his face, will say, "Well, that was swell! Quite well indeed! Are you sure you wouldn't want to stay and be one of us? Be a part of thee?"
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I'm sure me and my friends will head out in the next couple days. But Next time I pass through, I would love to play here again. You have a wonderful place, and I just love these tubes. Like, that's so much fun. I see why you guys do it.
Yes, quite efficient. I'm not sure if you got to take a look around, but as it shoots you up, you get your food, your ale, your wine before you come back down.
Yeah, that's an awesome place you have here. How does it work?
That's a secret.
Because the DM didn't figure that one out.
Oh, I know, buddy.
I was about to say, with the amount of effort he put into this place, he knows exactly how this place works.
He gives you a nose boop.
Well, thank you for letting me play, and I'll head back and join the rest of my table. Guys, those tubes are so much fun. I'm sorry you can't actually go in them, but like, oh my gosh. It's so much fun sliding down and around and the air pulling on you, and then you just like shoot down and then you fly up and then you just whoop.
I'm sure we just didn't try hard enough, rather. Perhaps if I lose some weight, I might be able to fit.
But there's no treasure. So what's the point?
I don't know, it was a lot of fun. Maybe we could figure out how they do it and make like big ones and then have it like as an entertainment thing and have people come and pay to go through and shoot through the tunnels and stuff like that. And
It may be something worth looking into at some point.
it could be like an attraction. We could make like a whole like small town of them. It could be almost like a park per se. We can make an attraction park. I love it.
Keep writing those ideas down. Keep writing them down, Togo.
But besides that, I have nothing else in particular that I would want to do for the rest of the long rest.
What I would just like to add is one party that had been to this particular establishment before described this as a gnome Chuck E. Cheese. I feel like that kind of sums it up.
I love that description.
Seems fair to me.
You know, I bet they do use some kind of magic in here and they just don't advertise it. It's
Maybe
like
we
you've
just
used them. What is that, Alencia?
oh, this is out of character, but maybe we just haven't found the right tube that leads to the treasure.
True, true. I only went through 2 tubes and they went back and forth to each other.
You gotta find the restricted tube, dude.
I gotta find the restricted tube.
And you're keeping secrets from Zanashi.
What are you talking about keeping secrets? I went through tubes. That's all there is.
You didn't want to play it in my RP by telling me you saw a glimpse of gold or that you saw the leprechauns down there.
She's gonna shake the truth out of you.
Zanashi would have went fucking psycho.
Well, who knows? Maybe
It
later
was
on.
just tubes there, Zanashi. That's all I saw.
I thought about rolling inside, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna roll.
That deception was pretty good, though.
I have a
Zanashi.
+7 to it. I'm pretty confident in my ability to lie.
Well, Zanashi, later on, I may be able to shrink you down and allow you to go through those tubes, but we would need to be able to venture around the city without these pendants on for that.
Shrink me down. I mean, how do you do that?
There are spells that allow people to enlarge and decrease individual sizes.
I think in Zanashi's case, that would feel a bit emasculating.
If she wants to know what's on the other end of those tubes, there is no other way.
Whatever it takes, I'll do it.
Lindsay just rolls her eyes.
I mean, at this point, Zanashi does think that she can read people's minds too, so makes sense to me. Also, definitely top 10 favorite moment in one of the campaigns where you describe just staring at them and then trying to read their minds.
Hey man, it's good RP makes the game more fun.
Well, I agree 100%. But with that, anybody have anything else? Or would we just like to fast forward to the end of the long rest?
Fast forwarding sounds good.
That
I am good with that.
All right, then. So, that will move us, double check my notes, to the morning of April 25th. So, with it now moving to the morning, since nothing else needs to be completed, everyone took care of that within the first couple of days. All good to go. Each of you can load up your... Nice.
You know what that's for, right?
Your Arcana checks for learning.
No, that was for my what do you want to call it? For the long rest, I get the rolls for my portents.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, with like at the end of that, like getting everything loaded up, I was gonna ask you for 6 Arcana checks.
Oh, 6 are yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, no, I
I
was
thought
doing
you
that
were
for my
reading my
portents.
mind, and I was scared. Looks nervously back and forth. Come on, you can do it. All right. So, with that amount of time and the whichever spells at this point that you wanted to copy over, I know that you were working on one with the intention of a couple of others. If you have 6 in total, you're good. So if there's any spells that you want to copy that you have the scrolls for over into your spell book, you're good to go. And through the days, you don't have any issue, no outside like source coming to bother you or anything of that manner.
Awesome. How much? I've got enough for one spell.
So
I think I've got 2 scrolls right now.
yes, you have catapult that I know of for
Yes.
sure, and then I actually didn't look at the other one, but I can find it relatively quick.
Disguise self.
Yep.
And
So
Does that
with both of those, the only thing that you would need to do is get like a little bit more practice using them, and other than that, like you're good.
other than that, those are in. Cool.
Yep, they're in your book. Like you can swap to them. It just like for like an example, mechanically speaking, like if you use like disguise self, then it may like lower the DC to kind of be noticed. For an example, to use it a couple times and get used to it, unless like you have like a trainer. But unfortunately, doing like this in what I would say kind of like a secret manner, even though you don't have any issues, but it's just copying and learning. So you're all good for those two. You can have them over in your spellbook, like I was saying, and you all can set out again on the morning of April 25th. The horses and the moose are all loaded up. All your belongings are good to go. Check out, pay your fees, take care of any of the tabs, and move on.
Are you ready to... Sorry.
It's all right. I had a frog in my throat too.
Are you ready to get angry when the time comes, Anashi?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I feel good.
I am relieved to hear that. Then we should be setting off as soon as possible.
Let's do that.
So, setting out fairly early, you begin and make your way out of the city of Mido. After spending roughly 7 days here, each of you feel completely refreshed. And as you make your way out, the only thing that will be asked of you while going through one of the gates is the exchange of your pendants as you leave for Togo and Modar.
Yep, I'll hand mine over.
I will as well. Do they just ask you to take it off and then?
Yep, just like kind of like a exit process. They'll ask you to remove it and then just take it from you. And, unless you want to keep it.
Nope.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
not at
you
all.
can
Yeah,
move
definitely.
on. So just double checking, because I know that it had been brought up that one of the intents may be to just head directly to Zalfari. What is the path that you all are taking as you make your way out of the city of Mido?
I mean, so what?
So we are going to race, right?
We're not. We're going to Zalfari, right?
Well, the reason I asked is because it was brought up to go there to take your rest, but everyone decided to stay here in Mido. So I just wanted to double check.
I'm fine if we just want to head down south. But we may want to look at Zalfari as a option if we're trying to hold up and rest someplace that's not race. If we get there and decide the town is not to our liking, it could be a place that we go. But if we just want to follow the road south for a couple days, I'm fine with that. Because it cuts, what is that? 38 miles of back country, or of a country travel, which is a lot slower. For only like 10 more miles, we have
Well, at
double
least
the speed or whatever.
maybe get advantage in my area.
Well, if we're following the road, it shouldn't be too bad.
Oh, if we follow the road, yeah. I only need to roll then.
At least for the first couple days, I say we follow the road and see how things go. How about that?
Sure.
But
Is that the call?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. As long as everyone is in agreement.
Works for me.
I will move you all to right here. And this is when I will need you all to make a perception check.
Give me a few moments.
So, Tsunashi and Togo, as you all are heading out on your mounts, as it gets near midday for April 25th, both of you will spot a few odd things as you're riding about. As you're trotting along, both of you will notice that there appears to be a couple of broken branches that are completely out of place upon the road as you're heading south. You also see a tree that has been completely uprooted as well. A few indentations in the ground, roughly a medium size of an imprint, and then also more than a dozen of tiny prints.
Are like
Everybody.
branches on the ground broken, or like were they moved away?
They're broken. They seem to be snapped off. Their endings splintering. You can see the tree where they've been like torn from, and the tree where the limb is roughly 10 to 15 foot high.
I'm gonna look in those trees. Being an tribes person and outdoors person, I'm thinking something's trying to set up ambushes for certain people or things.
You want to go ahead and give me an investigation check?
Everybody, wait here. I gotta check something out. Be on the ready. Because my investigation sucks.
From what you pick up, you don't find any remnants of like a trap or anything. It just seems that something perhaps is stampeded through here.
Looking at the small footprints, can I tell anything about them? Like, be it horses or people or non-hooved
Give me a nature check.
or nature. Oh, I was hoping survival. Oh well. Ooh.
So as you take a look at it, you can see that the like major imprints are just what appear to you to be like pretty decent sized divots. Um, you're not sure what could have created such a thing, and the little ones, you will just note that it looks to have like four digits with little claws, since you can see a little indentation on the in the surface just above it.
Are the two of you finding anything worth checking out?
I don't know. Seems something happened here, but I can't make heads or tails of that. Anyways, I'm fine to keep moving on. Maybe we should keep an eye out, or more of an eye out for the next little bit.
Yeah, definitely keep your eyes open.
All right, well then let's move along if there's nothing else to check out.
Does Alicia have at least a hood on?
No.
Alicia, you need to get a hood or something.
Actually, let me try something. If I may, of course. It won't be something too big, but it will at least be a start to be a slight bit of a disguise for people if you're okay with this.
It seems necessary.
What did you say?
It seems this is necessary.
So tell me if I can or can't do this. Prestidigitation lets me create a non-magical trinket or illusionary image that can fit in the size of my hand. Oh wait, that only lasts till the end of my next turn. Never mind. Never mind.
You'll be busy, man.
Yeah. Casting it over and over and over again.
Never mind. Okay. I guess I can't do anything.
Yeah, it seems great.
You mean you lied?
I mean, I was mistaken on how long I could hold one of my spells into effect.
This is going to be a problem.
Well, maybe we should stick. I don't know. I was gonna say we should stick to the roads, but
Just hopefully we don't run across any of the orc tribes.
oh well. Anyways, I'm assuming we continue moving on while we're having this conversation.
But I'll protect you, Alexia.
I trust you all will, and I'll do the same.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can just turn her invisible.
So, about this location is where you will need to begin to set up camp. The sun begins to go down, and you catch like a bit of just like a shimmer of the sun reflecting off of the ocean as you look out. You see just grasslands, a bit of trees here and there off to your west before it eventually just meets the ocean in the vast distance.
I'll do my normal routine before bed of checking over my performance clothing and checking over my instruments and making sure all of them seem to be in good repair and not wearing down or anything. Check my strings, make up my bed mat, that sorts of things. Those sorts of things.
I will spend the first little bit ritually casting Find Familiar to turn my familiar back into the owl so that he can oversee the area.
Okay. You guys setting up a campfire, your tents, doing any hunting, anything of that sort as well?
I assumed like tents and little campfire off the side of the road if we could find a nice flat-ish place that's dry.
Yeah, the hunting, that's up to Zanashi and Valencia, whatever they're doing.
Valencia feels that she doesn't need to hunt because we've got plenty of food.
I'll hunt.
What did you say, Zanashi?
I'll hunt.
All right then.
gives me the opportunity to kill something.
Okay, Sanashi, go ahead and give me a survival check.
I already did.
Do it again. I'm just kidding. 13. Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Not very perceptive.
So while you're out and about tracking, you see what looks to be like a rut, something ground down in an area for what you know would be a boar, and from the looks of it, it seems to be a fairly decent size. But as you follow and you keep along moving with the trail, soon you just see where it appears to burst out, growing nearly quadruple in size. The clearing ahead, you would easily assume it to need to head off to the west, and like go around it, but it just burrowed right through this tree, and it is just knocked clean, like almost completely in half, shattered as it lays on the floor.
The tree's laying on the floor, or
Yeah, like it's been
The
like
boar.
broken from the trunk. It's like ripped apart, like kind of just like bark laying all over the place.
so is this some kind of boar that I'm unfamiliar with?
That is what you are getting from your hunting techniques.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm trying to kill it.
I mean, unfortunately, after like the path like kind of erupts, like you can't follow any path, and just where it like leads off, eventually breaking the tree line, you find your hunt to be unsuccessful.
Something's changed about this place. I guess I'll go back to camp empty-handed.
Well, by the time you return, Zanashi, everyone has the tent set up, a little bit of a fire burning. As you hear it crackling, you can see a bit of the illumination from the fire kind of bouncing off the tent surfaces, and you can see the others just tending in to the campsite.
Everything go all right?
Yes, everything's okay. Just mainly wanted to get out to clear my head.
That's very important for each of us, I feel.
Sounds smart.
Well, then with that, if anyone needs anything, please feel free to RP it, do whatever you'd wish. If not, we can move on to the next morning. Thank you for the bit,
I'm
Anonymous here. Appreciate it a lot.
I'm good
Hope
as well.
you are having a good time.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Alencia, with you being on third watch, can you give me a perception check, please? So all you hear through like the night during the end of your watch is the crickets becoming like ceasing as the sun begins to rise. You hear the birds begin to chirp once again as you had done the previous day after moving out on your steed.
All right, I guess I'll wake everyone up. Well, I'll wake them up to the smell of breakfast, obviously.
Of course.
All right.
I'm sure I'm hungry.
Spore this morning.
Boar.
Anonymous cheer. How'd you get
That's
the
right.
ghost icon?
Where'd you get boar?
Like next to your name. What is that?
It's a large thanks
We
to
had
you.
some-
Do you get that like
From
if
the
you
past
just
hunts we've
donate
had.
anonymously, or is?
Oh, that's right.
Must find out.
You sure you're feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, good. Because if you weren't, then this shall surely perk you up. And she'll put a little extra spice in it, and then once everyone's finished eating, back on the road.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Same.
Dope. Moving on, making it to here. And at this point, I will again need a perception check from each of you. All right. So, what we will do is, as you all hear the sounds of the birds chirping and it being a nice ride along the road, you'll notice that it is a quite clear, sunny day, not a cloud in sight as you're moving along. And then this is where we're going to call it.
Yeah.
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 Sounds appropriate right now.
Well, yeah, I think so. Gives us like a what, like a cliffhanger. Like what didn't they notice? What do they notice? Who knows? Mwahaha.
It could be it's about to start something that it doesn't want to start before with 10 minutes left.
I think
No.
it would be more evil if you told us what it was.
Well, actually, I actually wanted to take like this last 10 minutes and just ask like Toga, how'd you come to that conclusion of like the TSA?
TSA. Mostly it was a joke about TSA, but I wasn't 100% sure on it. It was just a suspicion on the how you describe, like your description of everything, plus TSA. I put it was like, oh, TSA. That's a funny joke, and I was like, wait, she's not asking or looking at any of these. Is she actually getting duped? But I didn't know.
Oh, I just thought because like certain areas like in like the cities and stuff, I try to put like a little bit more emphasis on like having like specialities like in the area. So like certain shops, I was like, this is how like I'd like to kind of go about it, and that was like I wanted it to seem odd, but it's like it's just a jewelry shop.
Ah,
It's
dang
just like the personality from like the character. which I should probably not get into so much, but I do kind of write personalities for a lot of the NPCs that you guys might interact with.
Javo's really good at figuring shit out, man. I'm telling you, he's the main one that figures shit out in my Sunday game.
I was trying
Yeah.
to let the
I mean, it makes me
kids
feel
do more today and look around more and let them kind of lead. I didn't really care if we stayed there or not, but they were gung ho looking for stuff, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was just like curious how you came to that like assumption, and the reason I was asking is just because like that's like the personality that I set forth for the shopkeep. So at least I know I kind of captivated it at least decently.
Like, part of it was my mind going down tangents, and part of it I was like, well, I mean, like, I thought of something and then realized I could attach things you were saying to it. And I was like, perfect.
I like my cliffhanger better from Wednesday though.
What was that?
That was good. Yes.
They open a sarcophagus, and once they slide the lid open, that's what we're gonna call
I just
like
love
it.
the fact that you turned my twin brother into my sister now.
it. He did that to
Wait,
himself.
what?
He did that to himself. He rolled, and he rolled the wrong roll.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say like it's like I didn't mean it like it's like a your fault. I'm glad that that was input. Like that was what was in there.
Oh, and me too, man.
Because everyone else got like temp HP and then he went over and like tried it and then turned into a girl.
Everybody else kept rolling
Fantastic.
4s, and he rolled a 3. And 3 was change your sex. And his character name is Vendor. So it was the perfect name to just start calling him Vendorella.
Venderelli.
He does not like it.
Well, I will say it's definitely awkward for my character to get used to it. So I'm excited to RP that. Speaking of which, good segue. That is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch us get to a little bit farther into Tomb of Annihilation as we near, maybe the midway point of the Tomb of the Nine Gods. But shrug. I don't know. Clues the DM. Pistol plays Storm, a Tabaxi rogue. I play Akka, a Eldritch Knight, split personality halfling. It's a good time. But other than that, does anybody else have anything else they'd like to shout out before we get out?
Quick question: How do you play a split personality?
So I have what I call triggers for like my personality to shift. And then I created a table that I cleared with my DM clue to make sure that all of them were okay. And basically, if like I see a trigger that I had listed, I roll for my personality, and then my personality changes.
Okay.
And it's not split, it's multiple. Split tells me 2. He's got way more than 2.
That is true. I have 12.
So you have different triggers for different personalities?
No, like there's different triggers that can alter any personality. So like for one instance, like I may be like completely normal, then something will happen and then my character starts speaking Russian, and then after that I might go back to normal, and then after that I might speak and start doing like a southern twang, and then after that like I start acting like the complete opposite of my character, where I'm normally dumb, so I start pretending to be smart. But
I think it took half a year better for Pistol to get used to him.
Have you like? I consider different personalities, as far as the accurate sense, to be different people. So like, are they all the same class? They know how to do the same thing effectively?
oh yeah, like they're all like the same class, but like there's like different things. Like when I start playing like the intellect, like it's completely different of like my normal intelligence, essentially, and like the way that I go about playing is different. But when I'm myself, I'm like my normal personality, quote unquote. My character is pretty dumb.
Well, that, and I mean, I wouldn't say it took me that long to adjust to it. More or less, the character I was playing at the time, Duraeth, just like the whole thing made him not really trust him at all. Like, he wasn't reliable, and he liked reliable.
That's true. My favorite part about him, though, is that he's a halfling that is racist against other halflings. That's probably the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that kind of made Duraeth like, all right, this guy's a little crazy. He see that, or he honestly is so stupid he doesn't realize he's a halfling. I don't know which is worse.
It's both. But other than that, let's go ahead and get out of here. Tomb of Annihilation with Clue and Pistol tomorrow. Then Thursday and Friday are actually going to be off, celebrating my wife's birthday and hanging out with her. So there won't be a stream for Thursday and Friday. Then we'll be back on Monday. So hope everyone has a good time until then. And see you next time. All the affiliates up in the top left, and you can find their links down below. Check all of them out. And good night.
Good night.